Hi, my name is Luis Contreras, and in this presentation, I will be developing a comparative analysis of the political system of Mexico and Colombia. In this exercise, I will approach the topic from different perspectives: simulation for professional roles, a comparative school and international journals, an electoral debate, and the reforms-oriented public official. The main goals is to understand not only how democracy works in the both countries, but also how it actually performs in the life, looking at this strength, its limitation, and the change it style faces. Hi, I am speaking from the perspective of a comparative scholar. I truly democracy style is not defined only by election, but by how will its institution work, how power is controlled, and how people rights are protected in everyday life. In theory, both Mexico and Colombia are democratic countries. They are election for institution and legal framework that meet the basic requirements of democracy. However, when we look deeper, we see important limitation from comparative perspective. Both countries can be described as election democracy with structural problems. That means democracy exists, but it does always function equally for everyone. Issues like inequality, corruption, and violence affect participation and limit real political competition. So, will democracy exist on paper? In practice, is still face serious challenge in both cases. Hi, I am now speaking as an international journalist. From the outside, both Mexico and Colombia are often seen as democracy under pressure. Colombia is usually recognized for its pace, process, and the ability to maintain institutions even during conflict, but at the same time, there are constant concerns about social inequality, protest, and human rights uses. Mexico, on the other hand, is frequently associated with high levels of violence linked to organized crime. Journalists, in particular, face serious right with rise concern about freedom of expression. What stands out in both countries is the gap between what democracy promise and the people actually experience in their daily life. Electoral delegate. Hello, I am speaking now as an electoral delegate. Both Mexico and Colombia have development institutions to organize and supervise election. In Mexico, the National Electoral Institute is considered one of the strongest in Latin America, helping ensure transparency and truth in its electoral process. Colombia also has electoral institutions that guarantee election, but is face challenges such as clientelism, regional inequality, and difficulty in areas affected by conflict. Even though elections are held regularly in both countries, problems like both budging, political pressure, and destroyed institutions still affect their legitimacy. So the process exists, but in not perfect. I am speaking from the perspective of the reforms-oriented public official. If the reality want to strengthen democracy in Colombia and Mexico, we need to between institution and focus in failed structural change. Then the means fighting corruption, reducing inequality, and making sure the rule of law actually work for everything, not house in the theory. It's also essential to rebuilding trust between Christ and the state, improves transparency, and guarantee security, especially in regional affected by violence. At the end of the day, democracy is not just about voting, it's about people feeling safe, represent, and treated with dignity.